Welcome, welcome, welcome. And in this module, we're going to talk about what I think is the most important part of the creating a business in affiliate marketing, and that's the affiliate marketing mindset. So, who does this business? You don't have the right mindset, you're not going to go anywhere in this business. It's not, once you understand that it's not push button, copy and paste, money's not going to drop from the sky, and you realize that you're going to have to do some work. You're going to have to tweak your brain. You're going to have to think about it as a business and not as a hobby. So who does this affiliate marketing business? Well, there's a variety of people. They come in all ages. There's people from 15 years old to 70, 75. Now, how the heck 15-year-olds are doing this business without their parents being involved is beyond me. But anyway, it's possible. And they come from all countries, so you don't have to worry about if you're not from North America or one of the English speaking countries. You can be from anywhere and make this business happen. And people from all kinds of different languages. And so once you get into this and you see how many different people have different accents, and they get on the camera and you can't really understand them, but they make it work somehow, and they get better. They just keep at it. And so if you're afraid to get on camera and you don't have any difficulty with language, well, then you just have to get over it with it. And if you do have difficulty with language, then you're going to have to adapt and change, because most of the business here is done in English. So this online business is easy to build compared to, say, an offline business. That doesn't mean it's not going to take a lot of work, but compared to an offline business, think about it. You got to, buy a building. Even if you're starting a franchise, you're going to have to lease it out. That's going to be hundreds, tens, if not hundreds of thousands, or maybe even millions of dollars to buy a building. You're going to need employees and all of the stuff that comes around that, scheduling and motivating and trying to find good employees. It's very challenging. In this business, you can pretty well run it yourself and outsource some of that, so you do have some employees, but you can find good ones. And then if you have an offline business, you're going to need stock. So you're going to have to be putting out that money for the stock, lines of credit, before you get paid anything. And you're going to have to advertise like crazy. Now you have to advertise in this business too. You can do some of it. You could do a lot of it with free. But you're going to have to put in extra work for that. And advertising just kind of speeds things up. And then another thing from an offline business is all the regulations. And I did a video on the different types of segments in online marketing and why I thought affiliate marketing was the best. I'll leave a link to that in the description, and you can check that out. So, the affiliate advantage. First of all, you can do digital products, which you don't have to store, you don't have to have storage space for. And, a lot of it is stuff that we're not reinventing the wheel here. You can find, once you learn methods, you can take and recreate them. And if somebody, if they're not a big, you don't have a huge high ticket course, and if somebody takes and remarkets yours, then so be it. So you don't really have to worry about that. And software, you can get people to do that for you. And so that it's not complicated, and you don't have to have huge layouts of money and have big lines of credit and bankers to worry about and payroll to meet and all that stuff. So yeah, there's no overhead really. You just need a computer, camera, and mic, and to buy a few ongoing tools, which you can market and get them for free. And so another advantage is that in this space, there's a lot of guys out there who figured this out, put in the work in the beginning, and then are just coasting. And so they're kind of lazy. And so this is where our advantage comes in. We just hammer it and work like crazy, and we can outdo them with all of their clever, marketing bullshit. You can just outwork them, and that gives you a huge advantage. And there's extremely high commissions here. Like if you look at an offline business, they're lucky to make 20%, 30%. A place like Costco, they're working off like 7%. And in other businesses, like if you did an online business like Amazon, for instance, they just cut their commissions. Crazy. I don't think they even want to be in the affiliate business anymore. They're I don't know. I think they're predators, and they've basically learned everything they can, and so from their third parties and set up all the systems. Now they just don't want them anymore. So, but anyway, they're paying them. Let's not get political here. They're paying them between 2 and 4%. And how do you make any money that way? You have to have huge volumes. Works for some, but if you're a beginning marketer, it's not tenable. But in affiliate marketing, you're getting anywhere from 50 to 100% commissions. And so you don't have to sell big ticket items, although it's really ideal to be selling that. And you can move into that as you get more experience and you get known in the community. And so there are big rewards compared to an offline business. Once you build this thing within a couple of years, you could be making 2, 3, 400 or more thousand a year. Just depends on how much work you put in and how clever you are. So there's some big advantages. And then this is really important. The most important part, I think, is you have to have long-term thinking. If you've been buying these shiny objects, you got to get rid of that thinking. You got to be determined and committed. This is not going to take, despite what they try to sell you on these things, one press a button, one paste and cut, 1, 2, 3, and in 60 seconds you're going to have commissions rolling in. It's not going to happen. It takes a extreme amount of dedication and commitment, just like it does any other business. This is a true business, and if you treat it that way, you're going to get rewarded by your hard work. So I just wanted to tell you about what it takes to make something great. And my dad, for instance, he was an amazing man, and he had he didn't have a lot of money, and so he had to feed his family. He had 7 kids, and so he would create these amazing gardens, and he always had a plan. Nothing was random. He would start every year by rototilling after the snow melted away. He'd till over the soil, and then we would go out and we would get chicken or cow poop. That's terrible. Losing your foot in the cow and then having your brothers laugh at you. And I guess it was kind of fun, but it stunk like hell. And I was usually hungover, so it wasn't that much fun. And so we get this chicken poop and we'd put it on, we'd let it sit, and then we'd till it in. And then, it was time. My dad had this all mapped up. He knew where, which vegetables had to be and which fruits had to be planted in which areas based on the land, how the water flowed. There was more gravel in one area, better soil in another. Sun came up, and there was more shade and more sun in certain areas. And so then he would have this, like, it would be like a military objective, a plan, and all mapped out. So he'd get us all together, and he would have it. He would have like certain sections, and like, so this is the carrots, and then he would take sticks with strings at either end, and so that the rows were all straight. And then he would come along, and he would show us how deep to dig the holes, and then show us how to put the amount of seeds in there, and then the amount of water, and then each of us would be assigned a job, and we just like a precision machine, and build this garden up, and within one day we'd had it all planted. We had the carrots here, and we had the he had a greenhouse for tomatoes, and then he had potatoes over here and raspberries over here, and then once you planted it, that was a lot of work. But once it started to come up, then you'd have to pull the weeds, thinning out like the carrots would all grow together in a clump. So you'd have to go and you'd pull the smallest ones. You pull all the weeds out first, then you pull out all the small ones, and then the potatoes they would come out of the ground, and you'd have to hill them. You have to dig dirt on a mound so that they grow up, and then once they grew up this tall, then you just pull them out and you'd have them. But the fruits of this garden were amazing. I mean, I would go out and get carrots and pull them up, and I'd just sit there and eat them just like candy. And then we would take, and that's my dad's part of it, and then my mom's part of it was to can all of this stuff. And so basically you have to have long-term thinking. You got to think about where your business is going to be in 6 months, in a year. And if you're not making any sales for 6 months, or many sales, but you're putting in the work, you're building the content, you're building your reputation. It's just like the garden. You got to keep after it. And you got to know that you're going to fail over and over. You're going to spend a lot of time on some campaign that you learned and somebody told you that it worked, and you're going to put a lot of work in it. It's not going to produce anything. You're going to be upset, and maybe you're going to do like launch jacking, reviewing videos, and you're not going to make anything, and you're going to spend a whole bunch of time doing it. So you got to know that you're going to fail, and but you're not really failing. You're just learning. You're just learning and learning and learning and building and building and building, just like the garden. And it's not a hobby or a side hustle. Don't treat it that way. If you do, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get $20 a day. But if you want to make hundreds, even thousands a day, you're going to have to treat this as a serious business. And don't get distracted by these shiny objects. I mean, I suggest that you go find somebody that there's a channel called I Poop Cash that you should go watch some of his videos, and he breaks down these shiny objects in a fair way, and shows you how to look at them and why they may only just work a certain amount or not work at all, and how they're selling you, marketing you. And basically it's a ruse, and there's nothing there. You think, oh, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to make some money. And then you move and you look at it and it's work, and you don't understand it, and it doesn't. You try it and it doesn't work, or you just let it go because it's only $20, and you move on to the next one. You got to get over that. You got to push yourself out of the comfort zone. I mean, if you don't want to be on camera, think about it. Do you really like your job? Why are you online? If you're online to make a business to get rid of your job, then you got to think about how much you hate your job more than being uncomfortable on camera. Just get out. And it's important to focus on the why why you're building this business. Why is it important? Are you focusing? Are you short on your retirement fund? You need more money. Are you, sick and tired of your job? Sick and tired of somebody telling you? Sick and tired of being sick and tired? Somebody telling you what to do? You hate your boss. You hate your job. You hate the people you work with. You hate getting up in the morning. You hate the routine. You might like your job, but you don't get paid any money. You got, what do you want to better things for your family. You got to think about the why. You got to, so this module is super duper important. How you put it together. I mean, you can learn that anywhere, but if you don't have this mindset, you're not going anywhere. And if you don't think you can get this mindset, well, then maybe you need to go back to what you were doing before and just be a little more uncomfortable until you're ready to flip the switch. Anyway, so that's it for this module. And the next time we're going to talk about being self-optimized, what it takes to do something every day to move your business forward. Until then, stay awesome.